Biome by Rose Summerlin, Hope Pratt, and Aidan Matthews. Period 5 Science, Friday, January 9th, 2015.
This is the world map of our biome. The blue represents the marine biome, while the purple represents the freshwater biome, the other water biome, and the brown represents all the land biomes.
These are the physical conditions of the marine biome. Unfortunately, our physical conditions expert was ill on this day, and so me and Aiden will be presenting it for her.
Yes. The physical condition, the seasons of the ocean are pretty consistent throughout the Pacific Ocean. Spring, summer, fall, winter, spring, summer, and fall. They're the same length, 3 months long, and the winter is always the coldest season, but if you live closer to the equator, it's not going to be that cold. Then in the spring, it starts to slowly get warmer, and then the summer is hot, or just warmer, depending on where you live. If you live in the Arctic or the Antarctic, then it will not be that warm. And then the fall is not quite as hot or cold.
The temperature in the Pacific Ocean is approximately 22.2 degrees Celsius in the summer along the coastline. It's about 15.3 to 6.9 degrees Celsius in early winter. And the average yearly temperature in the abyssal zone, which is the deepest zone in the ocean, is about 3 degrees Celsius.
The marine biome, the physical conditions, the precipitation is basically rain and then snow with some sleet and hail, and you get about 76 to 203 centimeters of precipitation per year.
These are the defining characteristics of the marine biome. The marine biome has a salt concentration of 3% to 3.55%. The freshwater biome has a very low salt concentration of less than 1%, so the marine biome has a significantly greater percentage of salt, and it is classified by the salinity. The marine biome is the biggest biome and has the richest diversity of species of all the biomes.
There are 4 different zones of the ocean. The intertidal zone is the zone where the ocean meets the land, submerged or exposed. Here is a picture of the intertidal zone.
The second zone is the pelagic zone, which is the water further from the land or the open ocean. And these are some fish that are swimming in the pelagic zone.
The next zone is the benthic zone, which is the water underneath the pelagic zone, but is not the deepest part.
The last and deepest part of the ocean is the abyssal zone, and the picture below is an anglerfish in its larval state. Anglerfish only live in the abyssal zone. This is another picture of an anglerfish in the abyssal zone.
The marine biome, more defining characteristics, is that it is the largest body of water as well as the largest biome. Its location is California to Japan, as you will see in the next slide, and Alaska to Antarctica, also you'll see in the next slide. It's about half the size of all the oceans combined. Here it is. This is California to Japan, Alaska to Antarctica, and there are the boundaries.
Some more defining characteristics are the currents of the Pacific Ocean. The currents carry warm water and cold water to different places, which affects the landmass's climate. So if a place has a cold current next to the landmass, it will have a cooler climate because the cold water makes the air cooler, and vice versa with the warmer climates.
This is the plants and vegetation of the marine biome by expert Aidan Matthews. Plants and vegetation. The main plants and vegetation that people think of, and the most common types, are algae, which is that green stuff you see floating at the top of the water, as well as many other types, such as seaweed, which is a type of large algae, and seagrass, which lies on the seafloor, and it is very closely related to things like sea lettuce and other things, but not exactly the same. And then there is phytoplankton, which makes up the majority of it. Common adaptations of marine plants. They often have anchor-like holdfasts to make sure they don't move in the currents. And they also often have tiny outgrowths when small floating plants to stay afloat and get more photosynthesis. Then also have gas sacs or air sacs to stay afloat. They cannot control how much air or gas is in it to change their altitude, but they can, but it just keeps them constantly closer to the sun to photosynthesize. The marine biome, the plants and vegetation, sea lettuce is the first one. The scientific name is Ulva lactuca. It is 15 to 65 centimeters tall. It has wavy and sometimes layered leaves. It is bright green in color, as you can see in the picture. It can float freely or attach to something, so if its base gets destroyed, it can live on, which is very helpful because soil or rocks, whatever it's in, will often move or get destroyed. It can live 23 meters below sea level, which is very, very helpful because it reduces competition and it doesn't need that much light to photosynthesize. And then the final adaptation, which is very cool, it can use some pollutants to grow, pollutants that humans put into the ocean. And so this helps it grow and pass on its genes faster. Also, this is dinoflagellates, which is a type of phytoplankton. The scientific name is the same, dinoflagellates. They are unicellular and microscopic, so you cannot see them with the naked eye, and they only have one cell, but it's very complex. Unique shell-like coverings they have can be spheres, spirals, cylinders, or boxes, which protects them not from much, only changes in weather and temperature. And then they specifically have flimsy tails called flagella, which are used to swim out of the shade if the current drags them into shade, which helps them photosynthesize. And then they can also descend and ascend to get nutrients deeper in the water and then come up to photosynthesize. And finally, bug kelp. The bug kelp is a species of kelp, which is large seaweed. The scientific name is Neurocystis luteina. It is up to 36 meters. It has a tube core and then branching stems and long leaves at the top. Tubes are part filled with carbon monoxide to keep consumers away. And then anchor-like projections burrow in rocks and not just soil, which helps them anchor into things. Also, since it's filled with carbon monoxide is toxic, and so predators will not want to go there. And so the annual plant, it is an annual plant, so it grows fully in 1 year, which helps it reproduce faster. And so here's Rose with plants and animals.
So these are the animals of the marine biome, which are the bottlenose dolphin, walrus, and Pacific krill. Some general animals that people generally think of when they're thinking of the marine biome are sea slugs, starfishes, walruses, dolphins, and krill, and also fish of all kinds. Some common characteristics and adaptations of marine animals are that they have gills or very large lung capacity, or the ability to hold their breath for a long period of time. Most marine animals are invertebrates, which helps them to be more flexible and escape from predators or fit through tight spaces in rocks or crevices where they are hiding. Most have techniques of disguise or camouflage to hide from predators. Most have fins or other ways of propelling themselves forward in the water. The first animal is the walrus. Its scientific name is Otobenus rosmarus. The typical size for males is 2.4 meters to 3.3 meters. The typical size for females is 2.3 meters to 2.9 meters. Walruses typically have yellow to reddish-brown hide, which could be affected by any previous lesions or injuries that they have had. All walruses have tusks, flippers, whiskers, and travel in herds. Some adaptations of the walrus are its tusks, which can be used as grappling hooks to get out of the water and onto the ice, and ways to defend against predators. Flippers are used for fast propulsion in the water and helping herd mates out of the water if the herd mates are injured. And all walruses travel in herds, which prevents herd mates from being attacked or harmed by a predator, and if a member is harmed, the other walruses can help to come and save it and get it out of the water and onto an ice floe. This is an image of Otobenus rosmarus, otherwise known as a walrus. The second animal is the bottlenose dolphin. Its scientific name is Tursiops truncatus. The size is 3 to 4.2 meters long on average. It normally has light bluish-gray coloration, which again could be altered by any previous lesions or injuries that it's had. Dolphins communicate through whistles and clicks. They use echolocation, and they have large brains, which means that they are very intelligent. The adaptations of the bottlenose dolphin are that they communicate through whistles and clicks, and that helps them to organize hunting, aid any ill members of the pod, and know if any predator or danger is near them. They use echolocation, which assists them in locating prey, predators, and other pod mates. They have large brains, which means that they are intelligent, and this intelligence helps them to communicate and solve problems like hard-to-reach prey or a vicious predator. This is an image of Tursiops truncatus, otherwise known as the bottlenose dolphin. The third and final animal of the Pacific Ocean is the Pacific krill. Its scientific name is Euphausia pacifica. The average size is 2 to 5 inches long, on average. The krill are thin and crescent-shaped. They normally have light pinkish blue and transparent coloration. They travel and feed in large swarms. They have snapping tails and compound eyes. The adaptations of the krill are that they travel and feed in large groups. This helps them to spot and confuse the prey or predator that they are after or escaping from. They have snapping tails, which scares the predator and assists the krill in moving faster through the water. They have compound eyes, which assist the krill in spotting predators and prey. This is an image of Euphausia pacifica, otherwise known as the Pacific krill. Thank you for listening to our presentation on the marine biome.